कुछ दिनों पहले आईपीएम एंड बीबीए स्टूडेंट्स फ्रेटर्निटी में एक हलचल मच गई और ये हलचल तब मची जब ऑल इंडिया रैंक 3 एनआईआरएफ ऑल इंडिया रैंक 3 आईआईएम कोझिकोड ने अपना बीएमएस प्रोग्राम लॉन्च किया। यस, एक खुशी सी लहर दौड़ने लगी आईपीएम एंड बीबीए फ्रेटर्निटी के स्टूडेंट्स में कि उनको इतने बड़े आईआईएम में जाने का मौका मिलने वाला है। ये खुशी तो थी पर थोड़ा सा गम भी था और कुछ सवालात मन में रह गए, जैसे कि इतनी ज्यादा फीस क्यों, क्या प्लेसमेंट्स जो मिलेंगे वो एमबीए के बराबर होंगे कि नहीं, आईआईएम कोझिकोड ने अपना प्रोग्राम कोची कैंपस के अंदर ही क्यों चालू किया। पर इनका आंसर हम दें इससे बेहतर है क्यों ना हॉर्सेस माउथ से आप खुद सुने कि इन क्वेश्चंस के आंसर्स क्या है। एक नो होल्ड्स बार्ड डिस्कशन हमने रखा आईआईएमके के अथॉरिटीज के साथ और उन्होंने हर क्वेश्चन का आंसर ऑनेस्टी से और ऑथेंटिसिटी से दिया। इस वीडियो का एक फ्रैक्शन ऑफ सेकंड भी मिस मत करिएगा। वेरी वार्म वेलकम ऑन सुपर क्लास यूट्यूब चैनल। Good evening and a very, very warm welcome each and everyone on Supergrats YouTube channel. Today we have amongst us two dignitaries from IIMK. First, we do have amongst us Dr. Anandakuttan B. Unnithan. He is currently the Dean Programs and Managing Editor of the IIM Kozhikode Society and Management Review and a Professor in the Marketing Management area at IIM Kozhikode. Very, very warm welcome, Professor Anand over here. Professor in the marketing management area at IIM Kozhikode with over 20 years of teaching experience and 15 plus years in academic administration. He has held several leadership roles, including mentor professor, dean academic affairs and development, and dean faculty administration. Widely recognized as one of the highly rated faculty members at IIMK, his areas of expertise include innovation and design thinking, consumer behavior, CRM, and marketing research. He has designed and delivered executive programs for organizations such as NTPC, Reliance, GMR Group, and various Kerala government departments. So, Professor Anand, it is a pleasure, prestige, and honor to have you over here on this particular dais.
Thank you, Rahul.
We also have with us Mr. Sreekanth Narayanan, who serves as the Program Engagement Manager at IIM Kozhikode, leading corporate programs and strategic academic collaborations. With over 15 years of experience across reputed institutions, he brings deep expertise in building impactful industry academia partnerships. His work plays a pivotal role in driving executive education and fostering long-term corporate relationships for the institutions. Very warm welcome, Sreekanth over here.
Thank you, Rahul.
All right, so we also have our dear Anil sir with us, Product Director Academics. And today, let's have a heart-to-heart conversation. We wanted that IIM Kozhikode should come up with all the answers. So we haven't shared the set of questions. But to begin with, my first question to Professor Anand over here is, sir, many students who want to come inside an IIM have that particular dream built in. So it's a dream, a legacy. Does the newly launched BMS program structure lives up to that particular dream of all the students who are listening to you right now?
See, whatever IIM Kozhikode is now is the result of almost 25 years of hard work.
Right.
We are number 3 in India, according to NIRF ranking. We get excellent placements. We do very well in our executive education portfolio. We have one of the largest portfolio of executive education. So we do deal with students without any experience to participants with maybe 30-35 years experience. So these are all outcomes. It came from quite a lot of effort led by our director, Professor Debashish Chatterjee, contributions by our alumni, contribution by our students. So excellence is about the effort, the culture, the processes, the inputs that we bring in. Of course, this is undergraduate program is a continuation of the same kind of effort, the culture and the processes. So there is no reason why we should have any doubt at all that the undergraduate program, whether it would live up to the legacy or not, it's going to be a disruptive program. The world is changing. Our country is also changing. So this is a program which is long overdue, I would say.
Right.
So that is why IIM Kozhikode thought of starting a program after careful, considered thought, after quite a lot of planning. So probably this is one of the first 4 years undergraduate program from any of the IIMs or any of the premier business schools.
Right.
So that's the way I would put it.
Well said. And I think if it is going to be disruptive, certainly, I think most of the students are already looking up to it. And this word, disruptive, is going to give a lot of confidence to the student audiences who are listening to you right now. I had gone through the website when this particular program was launched, and let me congratulate the team that it was one of the most detailed description that was given. However, there was one thing that students are curious about and wasn't mentioned in the on the website at point of time. How many seats are there in this particular program, sir, currently? And are there some reservation policies and regional reservation norms that IIM Kozhikode is going to follow?
We are planning to have a strength of 120.
Great.
Now,
All
with regard to reservation, we are under the Government of India norms, the constitutional reservation mandates that we have to follow. So that means there are reservations for ST, SC, OBC, non-creamy layer students, and those economically weaker section students, in addition to those with physical disabilities. So all those reservations would certainly apply. But for the first batch, what we are proposing is a batch of 120.
right. Now let us have some academic discussion also. So over to Anil sir to start this particular discussion.
Hi, sir. Uh, so again, a lot of students are asking, so what kind of exam is going to be? Because students are having a lot of queries and no, they're thinking that we are preparing for Indore exam, IPMAT Indore, Rohtak, and JIPMAT, and they three of them are different in their own way. So Kozhikode is bringing a lot of anxiety among the students. So if you can clarify what kind of structure, pattern, maybe number of sections, and marking scheme, if you can throw some light, so students would be quite happy to know and they can prepare accordingly.
Yeah. So what we have done is we have collaborated with the TCS, who's also helping us in the conduct of common admission test for the last few years. So it is going to be a computer-based test. You have to take the test by taking the test in one of the centers that is offered at various cities in India by TCS. It's not an online test, but instead a computer-based test. There is a subtle difference. So you have to key in your answers, and the contents, basically we will have two different sections. The first section is quantitative aptitude. So since we have students from multiple backgrounds, right, some of them might be having studied mathematics, some of them may not have studied mathematics in +2. So since we have students from multiple backgrounds, the quantitative aptitude we propose to be at the level of 10 standard curriculum, which is usually covered in CBSE or in ICSE. Of course, there are some differences in the specific contents, but we look at the generic content, which will be there in class 10th examination. Okay. So that's a content as far as the quantitative test is concerned. Then the second is verbal ability. The verbal ability, we look at whether they are able to read and understand complex passages. Are they able to answer questions? Are they able to have a sequence of statements which add up to a certain logical analysis? So you can see this is the kind of pattern that we are looking at. So the quantitative ability may be more aligned towards the kind of questions that you will find in CAT, but verbal ability also will be similar, but usually at the 10th level. So we look at the aptitude test so that the students who are coming in are prepared to take up the courses. So they will do courses in economics, in mathematics, there will be courses in computer sciences. So if they choose to minor in computer sciences, we need to have certain basic attainments. So if they are reasonably good in the mathematics part in class 10, that will be pretty all right.
But
so will be
sir, we would like,
sections, just two sections, not logical reasoning.
There will be two sections. There won't be logical reasoning section as we have.
Correct. No DI, no logic. Right,
no
sir.
DI, no logic.
Thanks
Logic is there, but then we don't have a separate section because it is both DI and test logical reasoning can be tested with these two sections itself.
Got it, sir.
You are unlikely to have the kind of questions which is known as the data interpretation and logical reasoning section.
Getting your point. Thanks a lot.
Have we decided on number of questions and marking scheme as well?
You will have a 2-hour test.
Okay.
And likely to have around 90 questions. The marking scheme might have negative marking, but a committee is working on it. Only once they have kind of finalized a set of questions, because the questions also need to go through several rounds of iteration. So, but what I can tell you at this point of time is there will be around 90 questions and there will be 2 hours.
All right. So it's a lot of students who are preparing right now with Supergrads are actually preparing for the IPM program of IIM Indore. And they're going to write IPMAT Indore on this 12th of May, right? And they'll be looking, IIM Kozhikode as one of the fantastic option now getting open for them. Just from their perspective, would like to understand, is the entrance exam going to be of same level of difficulty, or it's going to be more difficult than that particular examination? Have you taken some steps in deciding the level of difficulty of the examination so that students can come prepared with that thought in mind?
I would say in this kind of competitive examinations, the level of difficulty doesn't really matter. Like I was involved with the CAT for many years. What happens is I can design a question which nobody answers. I have seen questions which nobody gets it
Right.
right. I can also design a question which everybody can answer.
Right.
So all these questions are not useful for us. It doesn't discriminate a good student from not so good student. So the aptitude can be evaluated. Let us say 60% of them are not able to get it right and 40% are able to get it right, or vice versa.
Taken.
So finally, it is about the top few percentiles will get shortlisted. So we are looking at the kind of questions which would discriminate in the top 20 percentile of the test takers. So the difficulty doesn't matter. It is just a subjective feeling I did well. But does it really matter?
Taken. Taken completely, sir. However, in the less words, it clearly says that, it's going to discriminate students. So perhaps the level of difficulty should be taken from this particular sentence of Professor Anand. That is quite evident, right? All right. Over to you, Anil, sir, for the next question.
Yes, sir. Sir, on the site, we just got to know that this program, BMS program, will be offered at Kochi campus instead of Kozhikode. So the reason is any particular reason for that? And second is, how will that influence the student life, exposure, and branding? That is a question, sir.
Very, very good question. We had a campus in Kochi for the last 10 years. Other IIMs also have similar arrangements, like IIM Lucknow has a campus in Noida. So the reason is Kochi is a metro, and then there are a lot of industries, and our campus is currently in the middle of this info park. So there is manufacturing industry, there are ports, very good connectivity. So we wanted to leverage the industry connect that we can have. As of now, we run an executive program there. So the design of this program envisaged a closer connect with the industry. And probably the program should also have the students in a position to be connected to the rest of India. And that is why we chose it in Kochi. It's a new program, an innovative program, but we imagined it to be a city program rather than in a campus, which is a little far away from where the industry is. Now, let me ask you this question. What do students of an IIM do on a weekend? Do they stay in the campus and enjoy the facilities, or do they go out?
So,
Must be going out. They must be going out, yeah, weekends.
Going out, right? So
right.
we are keeping this in the middle of a thriving city, a cosmopolitan city, with whatever a student can ask for. It's like being in Bangalore. It's like being in Delhi, like St. Stephen's, right? So it is in the middle of Mumbai. So that's why we have kept it in Mumbai. Not because we want to allow the students to go out every weekend. That is not the issue. But then it is going to be a campus in the middle of a city with all the facilities, all the industry connects that you can think of.
But sir, there is
Right.
another aspect of looking at it as well. I think, since this particular program is non-residential, students living at their own comfort or in the hostels that are not attached to the campus. So, that vibe doesn't get generated. Many of the students ask me this particular question. We do not spend time together, and a lot of such thoughts are running in mind. What would be your take on such questions?
There are, of course, certain students who look at a hostel experience, but there are also students who would look at something more than just a hostel experience. Hostels are not always great experiences. So, what we provide is anybody who is an outstation candidate who would like to stay in a hostel, we would allow them to do that.
All right.
But there are campuses that force every student to be in a hostel, which we don't do that. So, we will provide a hostel to all outstation candidates if they are interested. Now, the experience is brought in by the students and the kind of culture that we try to recreate. There are colleges all over India like some of them are exceptionally good, who may not have a completely residential campus. And we don't hear people complaining about lack of a residential accommodation, right? Like DU colleges.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
They don't.
So why don't you imagine IIM Kozhikode to be like a DU college?
Well taken, sir. I think the points are well taken over here. But my next question is going to be a bit tougher one, and you may choose not to answer it. But the question is the fee for this program, and it's given to me by multiple students. So I thought of putting it to you right on this particular table. The fee for this program are significantly higher than most undergraduate courses in India. What makes the return on investment worth it for students and parents?
A very interesting question. Of course, I should answer it, but then what is the frame of reference when you say it is on the higher side? How much would you pay for an MBBS degree
Okay,
over a period of 5 years if you
that
do
is on the
that
higher side, right?
in leading
But
universities?
frame of reference, say, I'm talking about the management courses over here in India.
That is the reason, like for engineering or for medicine. Look at an engineering course in one of the leading places in India. They would charge more or less the same. So
Right.
for engineering, there is a professional degree. For medicine, there is a professional degree. But for commerce, we have a 3-year degree. So what we believe is we are trying to create a program which offers some of the best contents and some of the best inputs comparable to the rest of the world. Like there are our students who go to Singapore to do a 4-year degree. There are our students who go to London to do a 4-year degree. Even many go to Dubai, right?
Right.
So
They
the
do.
idea is not how much they pay. The idea is how much do they get. So we believe in more for more rather than less for less. Somebody can do an undergraduate degree even at let's say 5,000 rupees per semester. There
Right.
are such programs, right? They can even do programs sitting at home, right? So the idea is not the certificate they get for the amount of money that they have. It is like what is that IIM Kozhikode can provide, even though we would like to provide one of the best undergraduate programs which offer them all the inputs from a college which is in the top 3 in the country. So to some extent, the price we charge is also a measure of the value that we provide.
Okay.
It kind of forces us to deliver the kind of value that our students would expect from it. Now, about the return on investment, this is a program which would provide them with the knowledge, the skills, as well as the mindset so that they become competitive in the market. Some
All
of them
right.
may choose to do an MBA later, some of them might do a PhD later, some of them might go into doing a job. So the first year, they may not be able to recover the entire money that probably they are paying as fee, but over a period of time, of course, there is going to be an amortization. So only answer which I can give you is we believe in giving more for more. But at the same time, it's our policy that no meritorious student would end up in a situation where they are not able to do the course just because they can't afford it.
And why this particular question was came in, I'll just give you the context of that so that we'll be having a better reasoning to this particular question as well. So currently the IIMs that are running their IPM program are providing two degrees to the students. They are providing a bachelor degree as well as the postgraduate degree. So usually students see that post graduation placements are going to be on the higher side, and today when they are going to do a degree from IIM Kozhikode, they are just going to get the bachelor's or the bachelor honors degree. So they are comparing the value of two degrees over there. And that's why the inception of this particular thought comes in that, if I'm paying the same amount over here and in that particular institute, what difference is it going to make? If you can highlight the differentiators, and will it be possible for them to get inside IIM Kozhikode's MBA program without writing CAT? Are you on those thoughts as well?
I cannot bring in an explicit comparison between IIM Kozhikode's MBA and our proposed 4-year degree program.
All right.
But at the same time, a lot of other institutions that have an IPM, what they do is they have a differential pricing in the first 3 years, and the last 2 years they have another pricing, a completely different pricing. If you're
Take.
looking at the pricing, they recover the fee that is lost in the first 3 years. So if anybody wants to get into a career, they have to do the last 2 years, either in the same institute or in some other similar standing institute. So this program is designed so that our students will be equipped to take on any entry-level managerial job,
Okay.
which is available for a graduate of BMS from IIM Kozhikode. So we provide them with the same kind of skills because we get to work with them for 4 years. And we will be getting some of the brightest and the best students who are just out of plus two. So our aspiration is that they should be in a position to become an analyst. They should be able to do the same kind of work a student after having done 2 years of an MBA would probably get or probably do. So that's our aspiration. If they want to do an MBA, of course, after a couple of years, after 3 years, like many do in US or in Europe, they may be willing to do either an executive MBA or they might do a 1-year MBA. Both could be possible. And our curriculum structure is such that they will end up doing some of the courses which an MBA student would also do if they are willing to do that and if they are kind of able to take those kind of courses.
Over to you,
Right.
Anil, sir, for the next set of questions. Yeah.
Yes, I got 2 questions, sir, connected. First is, will BMS students, the batch, will be taught by the IIM Kozhikode MBA faculty members, or they will have a separate set of faculties who will be teaching UG program?
There is only one IIM Kozhikode, and we don't have any separation with regard to the UG faculty and the PG faculty. The selection process is the same, the eligibility is the same. So therefore, there is no distinction. But at the same time, even for our PG, we use adjunct faculty, senior practice leaders from the industry, some of them from consulting. So we do get them, and there are specialized courses. We seek the inputs of adjunct faculty. So the same faculty will be teaching in our UG program also. So there won't be like a UG faculty or a PG faculty. That will not be there, except maybe in certain courses which may not find a presence in PG, but it might have a presence in UG. So there we may have to probably recruit faculty only for that UG, but we are looking at the same eligibility and the same requirements. It is not possible for us to have 2 different schools with the 2 different eligibility for the UG faculty. That is not possible.
Kozhikode, like the institute must have given a thought about how to handle the set of students who just pass out of their 12th compared to one who joins MBA, because those guys are normally mature, right? So you must have given that thought that young kids coming to the center. So any planning?
They will be sharper,
Very
smarter,
vibrant. Yeah.
more energetic,
Yes, yes.
more keen on learning, and probably less corrupted by the undergrad education that they have received elsewhere.
Yes,
So we
that's
are
my question.
eager to see them.
Okay. Right, sir.
And
Second question.
to absorb the energy as well.
Right, Sreekanth, sir. So second
We
question.
we don't foresee any major challenges, right? So that is not really there.
Any exit options, sir? Like, is it complete 4 years or 3+1? Something
National
like that?
education policy allows exit options. So we are bound to provide the same exit options like
After 3 years?
After 3, no, the national education policy, when it gets completely implemented, it allows exit options. So all those options we have to mandatorily provide. We can't restrict a student from using that. See, the idea is that this is a credit semester based system. In each of the semesters, they should choose courses corresponding to first year, second year, third year, fourth year, or even at doctoral level. So if they earn enough credits and if they want to exit, they can do that. So there is no restriction. We have to abide by that national policy. But still, things are at a little bit of flex. So in the next few months, I would say that the policy becomes a little bit more clear.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Last question, the connected question. Is the curriculum designed in a way that student will be ready for the jobs after 4 years, or it is more suited for somebody who want to pursue MBA or foreign abroad, they want to go abroad for studies?
We would want our students, majority of them, to seek a job and probably pursue an MBA after having a few years of work experience. But the program will provide the basic inputs to make them ready for an MBA or even a PhD. So a lot of universities in India and abroad even accept students for a PhD after a 4-year degree.
Okay.
But our primary focus is they should be industry ready.
All right. I think you have had a structure of a lot of career paths as well, right? I think what kind of career paths is IIMK looking at currently? And I have seen that a lot of interesting minors were given. So be it business policy, entrepreneurship, or something else that was also mentioned, economics and all. AI as well. I read on your website. So I just want to know what kind of career paths have you chosen for these students?
So the basic structure envisages around 160 credits they have to complete in 4 years.
Right.
So if they take 50% of the courses, let's say in management studies, they can get a major in management studies. Initially, we are proposing to offer a major in management studies.
Okay.
Over some time, more majors may be added. Say, for example, economics majors can be added or computer science majors can be added. First year, we are offering a major in management studies. So, which will cover marketing, strategy, finance, operations, supply chain, and all the usual areas of management. Now, the remaining 50%, they can choose at least one minor. So, the minors are available from economics, again, from psychology and behavioral sciences, data science, AI and ML, and so on and so forth. So 25% of the total credits must be from that particular area. So we will allow a course listing and students can select the subjects that they want to study depending on their area of interest. Somebody may not like to do a data science and AI ML. They might want to do organization behavior and such psychology and organizational studies. So this will provide them with enough choices. As of now, it's a stackable design, which would offer at least 5 minors and 1 major. The rest of the courses will be fundamental courses, I would say, then other courses which works on skills, certain foundational skills, foreign language, such things. So that's a structure. So unlike a regular degree program where the courses are chosen by the institute, you will see that this is more about a credit semester system where the students get a lot of choices. Like for our MBA in IIM Kozhikode, the second year, the students get more than 100 different courses, from which they need to choose only 15, 1-5. So we have a bidding system. The students will get some currency, which is based on their CGPA in the first year. And then using this currency, they buy the electives that they want to have.
All right, I think Professor Anand is making a very fair point over here. But subsequently, let us have an answer from Sreekanth sir, because he's also waiting for his turn for one question on this particular part, sir. Sreekanth sir, if you can answer this particular question, I would like to know, what Professor Anand was making a point over here. It's more sounding like a management stuff, but somewhere down the line, I also feel liberal studies follows the same, right? So, don't you think it's more of a liberal studies program and less of a management program in particular?
So as Professor Anand was mentioning, we are aligned very much into the new education policy that we are looking forward to freeze soon. So if you look at the program vision that we have for this BMS program, we are looking at people with attributes to technical acumen. Basically, we are offering this artificial intelligence, big data, data analysis kind of papers as options. At the same time, we are also looking at our graduate to have a sense of being human, connected to the society, to the values, and who embrace the new things, but not letting off the old things. And also we are looking at people who can dream big with small steps. So these are the program mission that we have. Our faculties, our reputed faculties have designed this program in such a way that these are the attributes that we need to have for any graduate passing out from BMS program. So keeping that in mind, the list of electives that Professor Anand has mentioned recently, starting from artificial intelligence till the social science part of liberal studies. So this is the program vision, and we are all excited about this unique program. As he mentioned, there is no other framework to compare, not even with the pricing, but even with the value and the impact that we are creating for the students.
Yeah. Sreekanth sir, just connected to the same question. My question is about flexibility. Will the students be having flexible choice of majors, minor structure? Can students freely explore diverse subjects like Rahul just said, psychology, economics, marketing, political science across semesters? That is the question.
Yeah,
will they be free to choose any kind of thing?
They have the flexibility, as Professor Anand was mentioning. We have the core papers in the initial years. Then when it comes to the elective year, they will have the flexibility, But we have a bidding system. Most probably, I'm not sure, we are yet to freeze the mechanism of selecting the electives, but they will have the flexibility. We have a bidding process in place, and the elective offered will be depending on the number of takers, because we need to have a minimum number of takers for providing such papers. So we have a proven mechanism in system. We might or might not take the proven mechanism, or we might have a think of a new mechanism as well. But then the flexibility part will be there. Students will have that flexibility that we already provided for MBA and other programs that we offer.
All right. The next question to Professor Anand, and I think let's also look into the other aspect of a program, like, internships, live projects, clubs, committees that actually make that particular program live, and most importantly, the foreign immersion program. So, what is your take on all these additional facilities that actually the programs provide in context of the BMS program being launched by IIM Kozhikode?
So we have 8 semesters, and we plan to have multiple breaks between the semesters where the students can do internships, but there will be one mandatory internship component between the 3rd and the 4th year. And we will also have, if they are interested and if they meet the minimum cutoffs, to have a research component. Now, in addition to that, we expect that the students would do industry projects. We are in the hub where there's a lot of companies in and around. So we expect that they will do that, and participating in case study competitions is very common these days. So we expect that they will also take up such activities. And what we can do is that we have an alumni body who be ready to engage with them, provide them with the inputs, and then guide and mentor them. So that's what we expect.
All right. And anything on immersion program? I think if you can throw some light over there as well.
Immersion, we have several connects with international universities. So if they want to spend a semester abroad, well, that can be facilitated. In fact, that will be available as an option. So that depends on whether a student would like to spend a semester in Kochi or abroad. So that semester abroad program will be there. And we will soon have more and more connects.
All right.
So next question from my side. It is about the fest, like IIM Kozhikode, and in fact, any IIMs have got their own flavor of the fest, annual fest. So will these BMS students will be able to participate in the same fest, or they'll have their different fest and all cultural fest and all? And will they be able to participate in the leadership and the networking things? That is the question, sir.
They are the first batch, right? It's a 4-year program, not just a 2-year program. So whatever an MBA student would get in 2 years, maybe not even 2 years, an MBA student would get maybe 18 months. They will get it over 48 months. So, so having a lot of very dynamic, vibrant students in the campus, we hope that we will have quite a lot of cultural activities, and they will be also participating and winning laurels for the institute. That is something that we want them to do, because the first batch is going to be the ambassadors who will
brand ambassadors.
Will be noticed.
Well, these BMS students will be able to do networking with the MBA students over there at Kozhikode.
In Kochi itself, we have a thriving executive program. There is nothing that prevents us from bringing the students to Kozhikode for an interaction, or taking our PG students to Cochin for an interaction. But we don't want it to be just restricted to a senior-junior interaction that happens within the campus. Instead, we want them to have a broader interactions with the students, even outside the campus, even with our alumni, and then senior people from the corporate. So sometimes in a campus, the interaction is very limited to a straight-jacketed senior-junior interaction. Of course, that is available there.
All right. The next question is also very direct, sir. You may choose not to answer it, but was requested by many students, so have put it. What kind of placements, or what kind of placements or career support will be provided at the end of the program? Point number 1. Second, can students expect assistance similar to MBA level career services? And thirdly, you have already quoted 28 lakh rupees per annum average placements for the MBA students. How much these students can expect after completion of 3 or 4 years from IIM Kozhikode?
See, there are 2 aspects to organizing placements, or we call it now CARE, corporate access, readiness, and engagement. So one is the internal part. The internal part is, are they ready for a job in terms of exposure, inputs, the skills that they look for? Are they able to make a good impression among the recruiters? This is the internal part. The external parties, are we able to engage with a lot of businesses and then bring them to the campus? Are we able to build a certain brand equity? So in many college campuses, it is basically an unorganized group of students who do it. Last 2 years earlier, IIM Kozhikode decided that we will formally organize it, to bring in a lot of professional inputs there, and we have been working systematically on it. So we'll be doing the same thing for our BMS students also. So our expectation is that the BMS students after 4 years will be typically able to get a job where almost any fresh MBA graduate without any work experience is likely to get. Like, for example, somebody might, after their 3-year degree, might do an MBA. They don't have any work experience. So what sort of opportunities do they get? So that is what we are hoping that our students would also be getting.
All right. Can you quote some figures over here?
Can I mention some specific numbers? Well, it could be a little too early to do that. We'll have to look at what could be their entry level MBA salaries. It vary tremendously from maybe 24 lakhs in a year. Sometimes it touches 60 lakhs or 70 lakhs in a year. That is something that purely depends on the student.
Correct.
So what is their ability, what they are bringing to the table. But we believe that they'll be on par with any MBA graduate without any previous work experience.
So, Anil sir, I'm very sure Sreekanth sir, before the institute must have thought of bringing this kind of institute for UG students, right? So, you must have contemplated about the program we can go for BMS or we can go for the IPM kind of program that Indore and Rohtak has. So, you must have bottled down at BMS program, right? You must have, like, together brainstorming must have ended, like, we'll have BMS program. So, was any thought given to IPMAT, or it is IPMAT versus BMS, or just straight way to go 4 years BMS only? What was the brainstorming if you've done?
We almost worked for 8 months, and I was the chairperson of that program committee, the program launch committee, before I took over as dean for another term. So I was the chairperson of that committee. There were many of my colleagues who worked together. We didn't consider IPM. We considered that we are on the cusp of a disruption in education. Our government is now permitting a lot of foreign universities to come to the campus, and there is a national education policy which is quite revolutionary.
Right.
So what we find is the kind of programs and the kind of academic systems that we had in the past is about to undergo a revolution. So what we require is a program, something like this, which is perfectly aligned with this national education policy, whereby we can compete with it. So historically, what happens is our undergraduate structure was very different from what the rest of the world followed. So we were 10 plus 2 plus 3. So now we are becoming 10 plus 2 plus 4. So that it becomes integrated with the rest of the world in terms of having a student exchange, in terms of having a credit transfer, in terms of doing multiple courses. Say, for example, if you do a BTech in mechanical engineering, after 1 year, if you decide I don't like mechanical engineering, do they have an option? They don't have.
Right.
So a 4-year program with the multiple majors and minors provide them with that flexibility, so that they can custom make the kind of graduation they want to have, depending on the opportunities that are available, as well as their own interest. So I could say that this is what the future would need, and we expect that many of the IIMs would certainly come into doing a program like this. MBA is a good program. Well, we also run an MBA, and we are quite proud of an MBA. But then this is providing more options to some of the brightest minds. Quite early
as well.
To study management quite early, rather than just doing. A lot of students meet me after their +2. Professor, I want to do an MBA. What undergraduation should we take? I'll say, as of now, any undergraduate you can take, and then you can do an MBA. So many end up doing any undergrad.
Right.
Here is an option. You do an undergrad in management, which set you up for success in your career.
In MBA batch, the profile is like mostly 50% comes from engineering background. You must have been seeing this thing.
Yeah.
So if somebody this year appeared for JEE, let's say JEE mains or advanced, and not able to do well, let's say 80% and 90% or something, not able to get NIT, good NIT, let's say, and wondering here, can I go for this kind of program, BMS program at Kozhikode? So what will you say to those students JEE aspirants who could not make big in NITs or IITs. So will it be good BMS program for them?
See, I would say that if they don't like to be an engineer, if engineering doesn't fascinate them, well, then they should consider BMS. And not like, I can't get into an IIT of my choice, let me try IIM Kozhikode. That should not be the argument. You should choose this course based on their liking for the subject. And we have a system of standardization in place, and which will bring in the JEE score in line with the BMS entrance test score. And so if they reach on top, they will get it. So that's why we place an interview, because we want to find out whether they like to truly do a management program, rather than just a lot of undergrad students may not have that specific choice. We want those who have made the choice.
What should we expect in the interview, sir, from your side? I think that's a very relevant question as well.
We want to understand what is their motivation, what is the kind of expectations they have about their career, what are their strengths and weaknesses. Now, of course, are they able to communicate fluently? Are they able to make a good presentation and an impression on the audience? Because finally, the success in a corporate career also depends on their self-presentation skills. So
how much role will the 10th and 12th scores play? Because, perhaps, there are students who are just, getting 60% marks, but they are, they're strong enough to make into IIMs after, graduation. So will that be a possibility now also over here?
Can you repeat that? I just lost
I
you.
just want to know the importance of 10th and 12th scores while you're actually selecting students.
Consistent academic record, that also must be standardized depending on the board. But if they have not really performed in 10th and 12th, they have to do exceptionally well in the entrance examination. Then only they'll be able to overcome that deficit that they have, because 10th and 12th also carry a little bit of weightage.
Anything from your side, Anil?
Yes, yeah. Last question. Exactly, last question. A lot of questions to ask, sirs. Is there any support system related to mentorship or guidance during the course or after the course, in terms of faculty connection, alumni connection, or the senior MBA in Kozhikode campus to help them navigate academics and careers later?
We have a large number of alumni. So we have a strong executive alumni, because we've been doing this EPGB for the last so many years. Kochi also, we are now having the 11th batch of executive postgraduate program. So the alumni are very active. One of the strongest alumni network is IIM Kozhikode, and they are very active. So we expect that mentorship to be available there. Probably alumni are better placed to mentor the young undergraduates rather than their immediate seniors. So that's my view on it, because they are older, mature, they have seen the corporate world, and they will take a benevolent interest in molding some of those younger minds. So that's what we would expect our alumni to do, and they are quite excited about it.
Right. My final question to Sreekanth, sir, over there. Sir, if you can sum up in 100 words, why BMS from IIMK?
Yeah, so I was trying to interrupt in between when Anil sir was asking about the JEE aspirant who's losing and coming to this IIM program. So we get a lot of calls from the parents because as Professor Anand was mentioning, NEP is a revolutionary move by Government of India, which is very true. And people of our age are the victims of not having an NEP, because once you take a stream, then you're stuck in it and you have to complete somehow, you are interested or not. So many of the parents, when we talk to them, they are very excited about the structure of the program, the flexibility that we offer. And many of them are asking us, like, they are the students, the kids are into JEE NEET. So what can you do to counsel them? Can we give your number to them? Can you call them? Can you educate them on the importance? Because we at this age, 30s, 40s, we are the victims of not having the flexibility. Now they have the flexibility. So that is my message to the students, that having the flexibility, having this set of core management papers plus the flexible areas to devote, and having the flexibility to design your graduation by yourself is something that we offer. And this is very unique with IIMK. Clubbing it with IIMK values, I'm sure these people will have a greater impact in the society and in the corporate world. So that is my message to the parents and students about this program.
I clearly believe that it was a heart-to-heart conversation, the one we wanted. Very authentic answers. So, the questions were tough. The answers were very direct as well. So thank you, Professor Anand, and thank you
sir.
Sreekanth sir, for
Anand
making taking out time for us, and because our student want that things should come from horse's mouth, and if they're coming so authentic and direct, that's what is the need at the end. All the best for your upcoming BMS program as well from Team Supergrats. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, Rahul.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.